I can't feel my face now.
These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that. But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th. More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol, they obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're gonna make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals.
4 years they gave my guy? 4 years? What did he do? What?
Criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment?
Yeah, what did he do?
To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video.
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him! Shoot him! It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell. He's been there for months. If he was in fact committing such a grave crime, why didn't the officers who were standing right next to him place him under arrest? Until now, no one could even prove that even happened. But it did.
Bro. Wow. Wow. That says too much, because you can take it in so many different ways. Like, okay, those policemen that were escorting him were obvious, like, eyewitnesses. Why is this dude in jail, and why are they not on the stand testifying on his behalf? What did he even do? He still didn't, like, nobody knows what this dude did. Granted, people were jumping in through the windows, which is stupid. You don't jump in through the windows and start vandalizing the glass. But it seemed like when everybody was inside, they was kind of just chilling. Like, yeah, we just wanted to make our presence felt. I think also this is kind of like a scare tactic. Think about it for a second. I mean, I don't know, y'all. You know, you could think I'm just some crazy dude on YouTube or whatever, but that's fine. But it could be a scare tactic where it's like, oh, shoot. When we do something corrupt and crooked, it's getting to the point where the people are ready to stand up against us. Well, let's try to tell the rest of America who wasn't really there that day our own story, so they can look at these guys as the villains and not us. It's a deep little situation, man, and it's a touchy situation because, like, they were there. A lot of these people came from the Trump rally. Like they said, they marched down to the Capitol and, you know, continued their protest, or started to protest there peacefully. But then you see things in the news about FBI agents in the crowd egging people on to start riots, and like all of a sudden, like, there was pallets of bricks that were like shipped over there a few days prior. Like, there's just too much stuff that, like, if you read into it, it's like, yo, what the hell is going on? What is really going on? And shout out to Tucker Carlson. Like I tell y'all all the time, I don't lean left, I don't lean right. I just listen to what it is. If I think Tuck's saying some stupid stuff, I'll tell you I think it's stupid. But shout out to him doing a little story on this, because that extra footage is important. Like, you saw the people, bro, they was just grabbing papers, like, document. Like, they could have just grabbed it all, threw it all over the place. Like, they weren't doing none of that. They weren't doing nothing of what they made it seem like. They made it sound like people bum rushed the Capitol, was trying to break into Congress and just hurt everybody and do all this random crap. Like, bro, it didn't look anything like what they said it looked like. So shout out to them. I don't know how to feel about this, but I do know, don't trust everything you hear, man, and always do, you know, be diligent. Do your own research and make sure that you look into things for yourself. Don't just listen to me and Tuck. Like, go in there and do your own research and find out what really happened on January 6th. It's not even, and it's always just like, come on, man, January 6th, like, what a small event. There's a little bit of broken glass or whatever. I think there was a fatality. Maybe. I'm not sure. I hear different things. Like, yeah, a cop got shot, or a protester got shot by a cop, or 5 cops got popped. Like, I don't know what to believe. I wasn't there. But the fact that it's played out for this long, like it's literally like he said 2 years ago this happened and we still talking about it. It's just, to me, it's a distraction. Y'all need to look around and see what's really going on. Your gas prices ain't coming down. Your egg prices ain't doing nothing but turning into gold. And for some reason our government cares more about a whole nother country than it cares about us here on the ground. So something to think about, y'all. But till the next time, I love you. New era.
I'm feeling quite bad.